Mental health is a journey. It is something that involves a great deal of introspection, contemplation, and action. Knowing myself, getting to know myself has been a long process to actually figure out what I'm feeling at any given moment. And in order to take care of myself, I need to be intimately familiar with my emotional process. And for a lot of my life, I was not. And I don't think that's uncommon. So mental health for me is about continuing that process of getting to know myself, relearning who I am on any given day. I guess the inflection point for me was not only recognizing my unhappiness in the face of a large amount of blessings. Everything was going great, everything was going well, and I couldn't reach happiness, I couldn't be contented, I couldn't be satisfied. And then I looked around and realized that, the closest people in my life were also unhappy. And so I had to begin the process of removing the things from my life that were not helpful. I was on the spiritual elimination diet. I had to start cutting things out to see what didn't belong to me anymore, what I didn't need anymore, whether that was alcohol or sugar or whatever the thing was, and leave them behind. There are tools that we establish when we're young that help us survive, help us through trauma or help us through difficult times or whatever it may be. And those things become coping mechanisms, and eventually if they stick around long enough, they become defense mechanisms. And then they get so interwoven into every corner of the fabric of your life that they become indistinguishable. And it becomes a bit of a process to unravel those unnecessary patterns, unnecessary habits, unnecessary thought processes. And so therapy was a big step for me. I needed help unraveling those things, having them reflected back to me in a way that was loving and helpful so that I could get to know who I am today. When I really started on my mental health journeys, somebody said, it's very easy, the only thing that has to change is everything. This was not what I wanted to hear. But I was desperate enough in my life to give it a shot. Whatever I was doing, if that wasn't working, then let's try the exact opposite. And a few things were working, and they made their way back into my life. Even if that's relationships, friends, relationships that are helpful for a season or are useful to both individuals for a while, and then you part ways. The process is very painful. I got sober off of alcohol, right? But sobriety is more than that. Sobriety, being sober-minded or being sober of thought or being sober of heart, is a painful process, because when you get sober, you feel better. You feel everything better. You feel joy better, you feel resentment better, you feel excitement, you feel anxiety, because you're no longer ignoring those feelings. But feelings aren't facts. They're real, but just because I feel it doesn't mean it's true. That was a helpful mantra for me to kind of eliminate some of the pain out of that process. The things that I do every day for my mental health are shockingly boring and simple. I drink water, I eat well, I sleep well, and I get exercise. If I do those 4 things, my life is exponentially easier on all fronts. And it's not sexy or what anybody wants to hear. I meditate for 3 to 4 hours a day, and it's much more simple and disappointing, because all 4 of those things are available mostly to all of us. And they've been right in front of us the whole time. And staying hydrated, eating well, being kind by giving myself good rest, and just moving my body, Because all of my stuff, all of my trauma, all of my pain, all of my resentment lives in my body. And as soon as I start moving, no matter what it is, walking, lifting, whatever it is, helps my body move through those things. There are certain programs of self-discovery that talk about defective character, and those types of things get in my way. The way I define them, though, is they're natural human emotions: self-pity, resentment, self-righteousness, selfishness. And sometimes I allow those things to lead me to mistreat myself or mistreat someone else. And when I'm in that headspace, I can't take care of myself and I can't take care of anyone else. But self-pity is one of those old tools that helped me when I was a kid. And sometimes I hold on to it because it feels like a comfort blanket. Wrap myself up in it. And yeah, so that's probably the thing that gets in the way the most. But I'm aware of that now, so it doesn't stick around for long. Here's the thing, I think it is all seasonal. You know, my meditation practice comes and goes. Sometimes it's just not for me, and other times it's the only thing I have. You know, every 2 years I listen to The Clash, because a lot of people in my life think that they're great, and I still have yet to enjoy The Clash. I keep trying. That's the point, is that I keep trying. Keep coming back to it. You know, like, I'm a different person, not only on a daily basis, but as I grow. And so there are certain things that weren't for me a year ago that are for me now. And so I have to keep coming back to them. Yeah, meditation, at first I was like, I couldn't sit still for 5 seconds, let alone sit with myself for 10, 20 minutes. But then as I revisit it, you know, I've investigated spiritual teachers who have taught me to turn anything I do into a meditation if I'm conscious about it, or if I'm connected to my breath while I'm doing it. So it's an evolution. Putting these messages out, whatever the message is, it might not be for everyone, but it's for someone. You know, nothing in this moment is lacking. The past only holds resentment, and the future only holds anxiety for me. And in this moment is perfect. I mean, this moment is what it is, and it is unfolding in a way that I might not understand, but the message that I need to hear is that things are unfolding the way that they should.